Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off in a kneeling position. Bring your hands to rest on your thighs. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And take these first few moments to bring your focus and awareness to your breathing. With every inhale, allow your ribs to expand. With every exhale, feel your butt bones sink heavier onto your heels and allow yourself to grow a little taller through your spine. I'm going to be focusing today on loosening up through the upper back, and that's going to involve the shoulders, the rib cage, the chest, and the neck as well. Reach your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, bring them in front of your chest, push them forward so you find a nice rounding through your spine. And then lift your arms up so your biceps come by your ears. You can find a little lift of your chin, a little lift of your chest. And we repeat. Push your palms forward, round through your upper back. Think of separating through your shoulders as you push the palms forward. And then reach your arms up, find a little lift with your chest. And again, just like this, finding some nice movement into the upper back. Feel free to hold a little bit longer in one position. And we'll take this about 2 more times. You don't have to move with breath, but just make sure that you are breathing throughout this movement sequence. And we'll take about 1 more here. Find this nice rounding through the upper spine. Bring yourself all the way back up nice and tall. Release your arms and move yourself into a tabletop position. Bring your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. Start off by arching through your spine, lifting through your chin, and then do the exact opposite. Press into your palms and dome through your upper back. And find this a few more times. It's a nice way to move through your spine. A little more involvement in our whole spine now. Feel active as you push your palms into the mat. You can really separate that space between your shoulder blades. And we'll take a few more just like this. Bring yourself to a neutral tabletop position. Reach your right arm up into the air. Now thread your right arm underneath your left armpit. Bring your right ear down to the mat and stretch your left fingertips out long in front of you. Option to stay here or try to lean yourself a little further back to the right as you actively push your bottom arm into the mat. Breathe into this space and this twist. Take a nice big breath in. And a full big breath out. Big belly breaths into this twist. We'll come out of it. Bring your left hand next to your nose. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling. Bring your right hand down to the mat. And we'll take the opposite side. Reach your left arm up so you're open through your chest. And then thread your left arm underneath your right armpit. Bring your left ear down to the mat. Stretch your right fingertips out long in front of you. And then imagine that you could rotate your heart space or your chest space up towards the ceiling. You can add on to this by actively pressing your bottom left arm or your left wrist into the ground. And take a few more moments just to breathe into this opening, breathe into this twist. Bring your right hand next to your nose. Reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Move back to tabletop. You're gonna come all the way down to your belly. Bring your hands right under your shoulders, pull your elbows back. Find a little bit of a lift of your head and your chest. And then lower your head and your chest down. We'll take about 5 of these. Think of placing little to no weight in your hands. As you're doing this, have all of the activation or most of the activation come from your upper back, those muscles between your shoulder blades. And at the same time, pull your elbows back so you're engaging a little bit more through your lats, your upper back area. And we'll take a few more of these, just very small, undulating movements. Feel all of these moments for length through the spine, through the neck. And then place your hands under your shoulders and push yourself back to a child's pose. And we'll be here for about 5 big breaths. With every inhale, fill the space between your shoulder blades. With every exhale, allow your hips to sink a little heavier onto your heels. Inch your fingertips a little further out in front of you. And try to ground your hips down even more. Now bring yourself up to a downward facing dog. Take a few moments of breath in this posture. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Actively push into the mat as you press your armpits towards your big toes. Take a few more moments of breath here. Feel this activation through your upper body. And start to walk your feet forward to a forward fold. Separate your feet about hips width distance apart. Find a soft bend with your knees. Option to stay right here, or option to interlace your fingers at the base of your skull. Pull your elbows in. Try to bring your elbows down towards your shin. So maybe feeling a nice little stretch into the neck or a nice little stretch and space into the upper back. And you maybe want to find a little bit of movement with that. Release your hands. Keep the bend of your knees and slowly roll yourself to stand. Stack through your vertebrae as you come all the way up. Shoulders, chin, and gaze are last to arrive. Once you're in your standing position, take a few moments if you want to roll out through your shoulders or move around through your head and your neck. Find a bit of free movement here. Reach your arms up overhead, grab for your elbows, and we'll make some small circles with your upper body. So you can start to bring your elbows down and around to the right. Find a soft bend through your knees as you move through this. I like to call this shoulder churning. Take about 4 circles in one direction. Feel free to involve your head and your neck as much as feels good. And then after you've taken 4 circles in one direction, go ahead and move this the opposite direction. At your own range of motion, at your own pace. It's just a nice way to warm up through the upper spine. Come back to a standing position. Reach your arms up overhead. Find a little bit of a back bend, maybe lift your gaze up, and then find forward fold once again. Soften through your knees. Bring your hands to your shins or your thighs. Inhale for a halfway lift. Then bring your hands behind your shins or your thighs and use the pull of your hands to round through your spine. And we'll do that again. So think inhale for a nice long flat spine. And then bring your hands so they come behind your knees or behind your calves as you round through your upper spine. And we'll take a few more just like that. So you're using your own body as traction to get a nice little stretch, that space, that area between your shoulder blades. And now release back into a forward fold. Bring your hands down, step your feet back so you're in a plank. And come back to the belly. And this time we'll move into a Sphinx pose. So bring your forearms so they're flat, your palms are flat, and bring yourself to a lifted position. Lift your chin and your chest. And on your exhale, round the spine. Think of a cat spine with your upper back. And we'll take a few more just like that. Use your forearms, your elbows against the ground to find this movement through the upper spine. Keep your hips pressed down nice and heavy. Keep the tops of your feet pressed down nice and heavy. And then slowly release your body down. Shift yourself back to a child's pose. We're going to take this into something a little bit deeper from your child's pose. Try to bring the exact top of your head as close to your knees as you can. So I'm trying to get my forehead all the way to my knees. Lift your hips so you can bring the exact top of your head down to the ground. Now you can stay right here. This can be pretty intense. Avoid placing weight onto the top of your head. There's going to be a teeny bit of weight on top of your head, but more of the weight is still going to be in your knees. Lift your hips up as much as is comfortable. And if you'd like to add on, you can interlace your fingers and find a shoulder opening. Keep your gaze going straight between your knees. Don't allow your neck to turn. And really tuck your chin under. Slowly release. Bring yourself back to sit on your knees the same way we began, and just take a moment, come back to breath here. Nice big breaths in and out. And we'll counter that posture with a little chest opener, back bend. Come to stand on your knees. Bring your hands so they come to the lowest part of your back. And start to bring your gaze up and back. Now you can keep your hands on your lower back. If you feel comfortable, you can bring your hands down to your heels. Keep pushing the hips forward. Keep allowing the chest and the heart space to open up towards the ceiling, and breathe into this opening. Take a few more moments of breath. And then slowly bring yourself out of this. Come back to sit on your knees just for a moment. Another opportunity to catch back up with your breath. And then we'll slowly transition into a sitting position. Extend your legs so they come long in front of you. Reach your arms up overhead and take a little shift of your butt bones from side to side. Release your torso over your legs. Seated forward fold. Breathe here. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. Maybe you're feeling this stretch and length a little more through the backs of your legs. Maybe you're feeling it more through your back, especially into your upper back, that area we've been targeting today. Every breath, allow your torso to get a little heavier. Slowly start to roll up. Come all the way down onto your back. Our final posture here, I'll give you a few options as you come onto your back. First option will be to extend your legs just right up into the air. If you've got a wall nearby, you can bring your legs to rest on a wall. Second option is to come into a plow pose, which I'm demonstrating now. Lift your hips up off the ground. Try to stack your hips so they come on top of your shoulders. I've got my knees bent and I'm kind of grabbing behind my knees, but you can extend through your legs. In this position, make sure that your gaze is straight up so you're not turning your neck from side to side. And this is a pretty intense posture. You may be feeling a little constricted in your breathing. Try to maintain a nice, even breath. This won't last forever. This is a really great way to stretch all along the spine, but especially into the upper back and neck. We'll be here for a few more breaths. If you need to adjust the posture in any way, feel free to find that. Maybe by extending your legs or reaching your legs up into the air. But keep those big belly breaths moving. Take one more big breath here. Slowly start to descend out of the posture and come to a lying position. So your legs come long in front of you. Your arms can be by your side. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And take these final few moments to reconnect with your breath. Notice any shifts you may feel, maybe physically, maybe mentally, or maybe just with your breath. Thank you for joining us today. And that's your flow.